Hey everybody, welcome to Kickback Podcast. I'm your host, Amia Culpepper from John Muir High School. Today we're going to be talking about 3 brief topics. To be honest, these topics are going to be completely random. I don't know what anybody would expect from a podcast coming from a 16-year-old kid, but honestly, I think y'all will have a good time. And these topics are mostly my interests, and I hope that y'all will get into these interests too. One is The Last of Us. It's a really big topic right now. Not right now. It used to be trending. Like a few weeks ago, it was a lot more bigger in the trends in social media. But right now, I feel like it died down. But if you haven't heard, The Last of Us is basically a video game that recently got a show released based off the video game. And I'll get into that later. Second topic is the lo-fi genre. Lo-fi is I wouldn't say underground genre of music, but it is a very chill type of music that I want to talk about how it makes me feel and how I recommend a lot of lo-fi. And then 3 is basically one of my favorite characters, Kirby. Kirby, we're not going to get too much into that. I just want to talk about how I have a very weird obsession with Kirby, and you guys should really know this. All right, bumping into the first topic, The Last of Us. The Last of Us is an amazing story. I want to say that it deserved its show because The Last of Us is such a big game at the time when it was released, and it's such an amazing story that honestly the show itself, if it didn't have a game, I feel like the show itself would have blown up anyway. But a little bit about the game, a little bit about the whole story. What is The Last of Us? If those of you who don't know video games or shows like that recently. Basically, it's not cliche, but it is the cliche zombie apocalypse type of thing. The thing that makes The Last of Us so popular and so appealing to the audience is the fact that the apocalypse is basically realistic. And how that is, it's not the whole common story where someone dies and they magically come back to life. It's more like something is taking over and we need to stop it. And spoilers, by the way, I would say I'll put a timestamp. I'll say the timestamp around or cut that in. But skip to this timestamp if you don't want to hear spoilers. There's a lot going on. I'm going to be talking about kind of some spoilers I want to say all the way through, really. So if you don't want to hear, I will give you guys content about what The Last of Us is, and then I'm going to go into how the storyline is amazing at one point. Okay? All right. So yeah, The Last of Us is basically about this fungus that takes over people's minds. They basically take over living people. So if you are dead in this universe, in this world, you cannot become a zombie. But if you are alive, you can. That's what makes it so scary. Now, basically, this fungus goes into your body, right? Takes over your brain, basically, just to live off of you. That's just the entire storyline. This fungus takes over you, and you're no longer human. You're just a living fungus, a living zombie. That's the whole concept of it. And there are these 2 main characters named Joel and Ellie. Little girl, Ellie. Middle-aged man, Joel. And they basically have one goal, which is to take Ellie, who somehow is immune to this fungus, can't be taken over, can't be corrupted. She's been bitten. The way this fungus can be transferred is you have to be bitten. She's been bitten before, and nothing worked. The scar completely healed. She was completely human. She was just a very unusual, abnormal case. So Joel, being introduced to Ellie by this woman named Maria, who found out before him, gets told by Maria to take this little girl to the hospital. And so he takes her to the hospital, or so they make a journey on the way to the hospital, going through all these zombies, all this these fights and challenges, even people themselves trying to survive in this universe, that they need to take Ellie to this hospital. And the goal is to have Ellie be the cure to this whole entire fungus because of her immunity. And that was his goal, essentially. So they go through this whole journey, and I want to say that their dynamic, the characters themselves, are so interesting. It's not just some basic journey like, oh, they have a goal. Like, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be a lot of upcomings, there's going to be a lot of fights with zombies coming across, there's going to be fights against other humans just trying to survive that are going to try to take their resources. But between Ellie and Joel, their first meeting, Joel never liked Ellie. He never really appealed to her because he just never wanted to get close. And the whole reason he even took her in the first place because he wanted to benefit. Maria had told him, if you take Ellie to the hospital, if you take her to this grounds, I will give you what you need. I'll give you this battery that you're asking for to take off. And so he agrees. So Joel and Ellie they've never gotten along, really. Ellie was such a bad kid, even herself. And she, at this time, there was a very big time skip that she never saw the real world before post-apocalypse, right? So Joel and Ellie never got along. And it's a very beautiful story to see them basically develop a father-daughter relationship. And it's very interesting to see two complete people who don't get along develop this relationship, because the way they interact with each other is it's comedic, and also I wouldn't say sad, it's just comedic in general, which is kind of funny and very interesting to look at. And when it does come to heartfelt moments where Joel gives that dad smile towards Ellie when she's doing something right, it just makes your heart kind of melt, because they don't get along, and now they're getting along. So let's have a little bit of a sponsor. John Muir High School's Mustang Media program, students are trained in film, video, TV, studio production, and sports media. Students fine-tune their creative energy and hone their critical thinking, problem-solving skills. At Mustang Media, our students are encouraged to explore their natural talents and artistic passions, turning them into real-world skills through hands-on training. Check us out at Instagram, Muir Mustang Media TV. Hope you check them out. They're a really good place. I work with them. Obviously, I am one of the students in this program. And Mustang Media is an amazing film production that this school has created. And I honestly think since quarantine, this is one of the best programs that they have created. Go check them out. Moving on to my second topic, which is lo-fi. Lo-fi is one of I'm not going to say best. I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to be realistic. Lo-fi isn't one of the best topics. One of the best genres of music. What I mean by that is lo-fi is such a chill genre. It is such a chill type of music. It's one of those music genres that you listen to basically if you want to go to bed, if you want to cool down, if you want to study, if you want to cool off. It's just the type of music you don't normally listen to unless you just enjoy the quiet and relaxing vibes. And I love lo-fi because of how de-stressing that it invokes within the listener. And I began to listen to lo-fi since, I want to say, quarantine. I came across lo-fi when I was in quarantine, and this was a very hard time for me. And I just want to say that lo-fi, I wouldn't want to be dramatic and say that it saved me, but it definitely helped me through tough times. And lo-fi, I feel like lo-fi, I would think you'd want to be introduced to because it's such a good genre to listen to. Another thing, lo-fi comes in very, very, it comes in a variety of forms and type of music. For one, lo-fi itself, there's lo-fi hip-hop. Basically, it's a chill beat with, chill music with a little hip-hop beat, a little drums in the back, a little beat in the bass in the background. Or there's lo-fi jazz, which is just a very big jazzy type of vibe with a chillness to the genre. There's also I want to say there's video game lo-fi. There's definitely video game lo-fi. There are covers of soundtracks from video games you might play, like Legend of Zelda, Persona 5, Super Mario, probably Last of Us as well. yeah, lo-fi comes in a lot of different forms, and I feel like it's a very great topic, a great genre you'd want to listen to. I think you'd enjoy that very much, and I'd recommend artists such as Patsu, Patsu, Coffee Date, or there are more artists that I would put. I'd most likely put them in the description of this podcast, and I hope you check them out. I think you'd love listening to that type of genre of music. And moving on to our next segment, which is Kirby. Kirby is a great character. I want to say his design is so basic, and that's what I love about him. First of all, the concept of him. He's just a big pink ball with red feet, big eyes, and a smile and some blush. And I respect that. I actually have Kirby socks on right now. But I think the whole concept of Kirby being an amazing character is because he's so cutesy, but he's so violent. At least no, I'm talking about Smash Bros. The game itself, the Kirby games that he's actually featured in. He's not violent. That's a lie. He's violent. He can fight. He can float. He sucks in things with his mouth like a vacuum, which is a funny concept because Kirby is just a big fat Jigglypuff little ball that is so appealing. I feel like he appealed to me a lot, and I think honestly, if you guys want a cutesy little character to check out Kirby. I really do hope that you guys do check out The Last of Us. It's a great game, a great show. The Last of Us does have a 2 for those who play the game. The show only came out based on the first one, so do be prepared to probably not see 2 for maybe the next few years. And then also check out lo-fi because it's such an amazing music genre that you'd like to listen to relax to. I think you guys would enjoy that. And also check out Kirby because he's such a cutesy little character, and why not? So I'm really hoping you enjoyed Kickback Podcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast, listening to me ramble, especially about The Last of Us, because The Last of Us is one of the best shows that I wanted to talk about since I watched it, and I really didn't have anything to say about it until this little project was introduced to me. So I do hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, then yeah, look forward to the next episode, and don't forget to follow Mustang Media TV on Instagram.